Welcome back to AFTV, everyone. Welcome to full-time. Arsenal get the draw at the Etihad, a 0-0, no goals. A display that we must apologise to neutrals for. They are not happy.
Don't apologise, James.
Yeah, actually.
Zero shame in this at all.
What's that meme that we don't care?
Shameless.
Like, that, we don't care. I don't care. I don't care that they didn't enjoy this. I really have no interest in what neutrals thought of it. I do not care if Man City fans felt that we didn't really go for it enough. Arsenal are the only team out of the three in the title race that actually taken wins off their rivals. As far as I'm concerned, it's job done. And it's about what we do elsewhere.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal should be so proud of that. Another clean sheet against Man City. 2 draws away from home at the Etihad and Anfield. We used to go there praying it wasn't more than 3.
Absolutely. And it feels so weird because while I'm still over the moon about a draw, I can't help but feel that we could have got a win here. It's really strange. Obviously,
I get that.
We generally come into a game against Manchester City, and I might just be speaking in personal opinion here, but feel free to step in if you agree with me. 60% of the time, you go into a game against Manchester City, 60% confident that we probably will lose that game, at least 60%. But I came into this game personally, almost knowing or being 99% sure that we wouldn't lose today. Whether that would have been a win, whether that would have been a draw. Only time will tell. Obviously, it's turned out to be a draw, but I can't help but see this as a win still. We've played Manchester City 3 times, the champions of Europe, one of the best teams, probably the best team in the world. We played them 3 times this year. We beat them in the Community Shield, we beat them at the Emirates, and we've got a draw away at Etihad. And how many teams can say that this season?
I totally and utterly agree. They had 1 shot on target. 1 shot on target in that game. And apparently, if I just go to some analysis by H on Twitter, is a very good football analysis account at HTOMUFC. He said that he put up a list of every single manager who's conceded 1 or fewer shots on target against Pep Guardiola's Man City. This was a video done on the overlap. Mikel Arteta had 2 of them, 1 in 2020, 1 in 2023, which I imagine must have been the October one, and now this is a 3rd one as well. He is building an ability, Arteta, to... I need to remember this for tactical insight.
Can't quite see the graphic, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is he the only manager to do it twice?
It looks like it. Yes.
I risk my case.
He's got an ability to, this season certainly, stifle Man City, stifle Pep Guardiola's football. A lot of people think it's boring. We do not care. You're coming up against the treble winners. You're coming up against one of the Premier League's greatest ever goal scorers. In my opinion, the Premier League's greatest ever midfielder. People said when De Bruyne comes back, it's done for everyone. But here we are with 9 games to go, and De Bruyne did nothing today. Let's have it right. People were on to Odegaard. De Bruyne did nothing. At least Odegaard's general play was all right, but he lacked something in the final third. De Bruyne was poor. Bernardo Silva looked their most exciting player, but what really came from it? The hard work, the commitment from this team to get back every single time. Jesus, Trossard, Martinelli, Saka, it was just graveyard shifts out on the wing. Get back and protect your fullback. But they did it. And we've come out with a point. And we always do this thing as football fans. When we lose a game and we lose badly, football fans like to sound more reasonable. They like to say, but if I saw some effort and I felt we had a go, then at least that, but we didn't even show that. Here we are, actually getting a result, a point, that had as much effort, I think, as you can possibly ask from a group.
Absolutely.
And it's not just physical effort, it's mental concentration to stay there with City the whole time. And I know I'm rambling, sorry, but it just takes me back to when we beat Everton 4-0. I was on this show, we were taking call-ins, and I was really hesitant to say, we won 4-0, we went top of the league. And I was just like, look, I'm happy, but there were problems. Everyone got onto me. We just won 4-0, top of the league. What are you complaining about? And I said, I get it, but you could see problems.
Of course.
This is different. We haven't got the win, but look how happy I am because I've seen something in our performance that tells me we belong with the very best.
100%. And I think Declan Rice summed it up very well midweek. This is an Arsenal team that's learned a lot from last season's mistakes. We've gone from taking, only a single, 3 or 4 points last season against our title challengers. to going and picking up 8 points. You know, two wins against Manchester City and Liverpool, and a draw against Manchester City and Liverpool as well. 8 points in total against the people that we're competing for the title against, and that just shows how far Arsenal have come. We have come leaps and bounds in these last 2 seasons from where we were in previous seasons, and we're right up there in terms of title contention. Obviously, I said before this game, and I think it might have been with you, the fan cam, or it might have been Cecil, if we would have won this game today, I was quite confident that we would have won the league. We haven't got the result today. We haven't got the win today. Sorry, we've definitely got a result. Let me correct myself there. But I can now see this. We're going to be in this until the very, very end, and I'm absolutely over the moon about that. Because if you remember, it was all but done at this point last season.
Yeah,
it was this game specifically where a lot of the Arsenal fans' title hopes were thrown out the window, and we're in a different situation now where we obviously haven't been leading for the whole season. We've not been the team to be chased. We've been the chasers. In most cases, obviously, we're not the chasers anymore. Liverpool top of the table, advantage Liverpool after a result.
Well, we are the chasers now.
We are the chasers, yeah. We're not being chased anymore. That's what I meant to say. And it's a fantastic position to be in because there's that much pressure on us. As there was last season, and I think that can only benefit us in the long run.
I totally agree. And look, that's not to say that there aren't things to be critical about in this performance. We're going to have a fair breakdown. I do think I said in my fan cam, I think we lacked real conviction in the final third. At times, I think we lacked real bravery to pull City apart. I don't think we want to lose our defensive structure too much. I can understand that to a point. But this is why I brought up that Everton moment from last season where, well, let's take this comment from Ben J. 97S says, I understand not being upset and being relatively happy with the draw, but James's reaction at full time was a bit over the top. I can't imagine the reaction if they won. Now, he's spot on. If we'd won, I'd be delirious.
I'd have done knee slides again.
Honestly, it'd have been nuts. So you're right about that, Ben. But the reason I'm bringing this comment up is this is exactly on a different scale how I was made to feel about the Everton thing.
Yeah.
This whole, we've won, what are you talking about? People are way too results-based in their analysis.
100%.
You've got to sometimes stop and look at where the club was and now look where it is and go, City played us 3 times, 90 minutes, full team. All right, I'll give you the Emirates one. They didn't have the full 11. And they managed 1 goal against us.
In 3 games.
I'm not meant to be happy about this. A result that kept us above City, who a lot of people are still saying favourites for the title.
Yeah.
I'm not meant to be happy about this.
There you go.
I said off there, I think I said it in my fan cam, if Liverpool, off the back of drawing with City and playing that well, go on to then win 10 games in a row, they deserve the title.
100%.
Then that will just be it on Klopp's farewell.
Yeah.
I don't think they are going to win all 10.
Neither
But if they do, you just got to go. Fair play. If they drop points and we still drop points and don't win the title, do you think I'm looking at the Etihad draw as the day we lost it? I'm looking at West Ham at home. I'm looking
100%.
at Fulham at home. I'm looking at Fulham away. And whatever drop points we have now between now and the end of the season.
Yeah.
So sometimes people just need to stop and go, you're talking about one of the greatest managers of all time. Some people's greatest ever. And we have totally stifled them. And you want me not to be happy and proud of how far this team and this manager, who people wanted to hound out the club, I wanted him gone at one point. I'm not meant to be proud. It's a good day for the club, in my opinion. But someone mentions here, come on, you Gunners, on to Luton at home, says Malcolm. And I said it at the end of the watch along. This means nothing if you don't build on it in the next few.
Especially if you go and lose to a Luton side. Because what in my personal opinion, if we would have lost today, there would have been 0 margin for error from now until the end of the season.
I didn't really want to say it, but I think it would have been done if we lost.
I wouldn't have said fully done because I'm quite confident, not fully confident, but if we lose, my personal belief is if we lose 1 more game this season, that is it. There's no more margin for error. The fact that we've drawn today, don't get me wrong, I still think there's a tiny margin for error left, but I'm still quite confident. The fact that and this might be the wrong way of looking at it, and feel free to let me know if you agree with that, but we've played the best team in the world, European champions, world champions. I think did they win the Club World Cup?
Yeah.
They did. World champions 3 times this season, and they have scored 1 goal against us and picked up a single point from us.
I agree. I totally agree.
There's no reason, in my personal opinion, there is no reason that we can't win every single game for the remainder of the season.
I think we're capable. This from Tez Farnham says, James, maybe because football is a result-based sport. Absolutely it is, Tez Farnham. I'll ask you to pick out 1 Premier League winner who's ever won the league undeservedly. Ever. ever in history. Pick one Premier League winner who has ever won it and you've gone, they didn't deserve that.
You can't. It's not.
And what do you base that on? You base it on performances.
It's not physically
so
possible.
over 38 games, you can fluke a cup.
Yeah.
You can. You can't fluke a league.
You can't fluke a 38 game season.
No.
Absolutely not.
Please, you can't all look at one game out of 38 and go, well, in this occasion, that result's more important than that. Yes, we'd all take 38 1-0 wins for crap. Football's never worked like that, never does. So for me, I think this will fuel belief in the players, and I'm excited for them. But got to build it on Luton, because otherwise everything I've said doesn't matter.
Nothing.
Doesn't matter. I'll go, well, there you go, Luton. And, you know, and that's going to be a big one. They made Tottenham work hard.
Of course.
But let's get some callers. If any of you disagree with what I'm saying, if any of you think it's going too far, some of you are expressing that in the comments, pick up the phone. If you download, there you go. Download AFTV Plus app. It's free to do. We're not asking you to spend any money. Go on FANZONE. Free to do. Not asking you to spend any money. You get to join us and have your say. And we're going to get some calls in now. Let's talk about this game. Who's joining us first? Geronimo, how you doing, man? Met outside the Emirates after Porto. How are you, mate?
I'm good. How about you guys?
I'm very happy. Am I too happy?
No. Me too. I'm also happy. I mean, we're the only one that hasn't lost against the Big Six.
It's the whole Big
I
Six,
mean,
isn't it?
what's not to be happy?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
we still got to face a few of them.
We've still got to play Spurs away and United away. So I'm hoping you haven't
And
done.
Chelsea at home.
I'm hoping you. Chelsea. I
haven't jinxed it.
I'm hoping you haven't done a Laurie there and jinxed us.
No, but I mean, yeah. I mean, we knew it was going to be like that. A chess game, basically, between Arteta and Guardiola, two of the best tactical minds there are. And they both play a similar game. Neither one wanted to risk too much because they knew if they gave some space. And actually, City were the ones who gave the most space, but we didn't capitalize, which maybe leaves a bitter taste in our mouths. But yeah, I mean, a point at the Etihad after we frequently got smashed there against treble winners. A-okay to me.
Our last two results against them were 4-1 and 5-0 in the league. Last season, we went man-for-man press all over the pitch. Why would we do that again?
We've proven it doesn't work, so it doesn't. It would be insanity.
Like, I don't think people listen to themselves sometimes. I'm seeing people say, "Really, Arsenal? The Arsenal are so great, and they didn't have a go."
But
are you meant like what?
But the thing is, where I think people contradict themselves is I kind of liken this to the way Porto played against us, and they got a lot of praise for the way that Porto played against us in the first.
I mean, okay, different levels of quality. Some might say.
People are giving different opinions for a similar style of play, but because it's Arsenal, people have got a problem with it. People were full of praise for Porto when they did it against us, but because we want to do it against, but it bears repeating, the best team in the world, we weren't up for it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
You know what that means? They're scared of us.
Hating
because they ain't.
Yeah, they're scared of us. They need to find something. Yeah, they need to find something to pull us down, to make our efforts look like they're tiny things or anything, to make us believe we can't do it. Like we can't win a league, we can't win a Champions League, but we know the team we have.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, let me get your reaction to this, Geronimo. The top three head-to-head. Arsenal, 8 points picked up in the 12 games. From the 12 points in the 4 games against City and Liverpool. City and Liverpool with 3 points each, and that's come from 3 draws. They haven't beaten each other or anyone else in that top 3 race. Now, I know what's coming. Oh, what a trophy. Wow. Where's your Champions League? Oh, what medal did you get for that? Shut up. Arsenal have done the job, period. They have done the job against their title rivals. That is it. We didn't let them get a single head start on us. At no point did they gain points on us. And we took advantage at home when we got the opportunity. Job done. That's it.
Yeah,
now it's about everything else. Now it's about facing teams that are all below us in the table. And that is where the opportunity comes for Arsenal. Now, Liverpool and City will be thinking exactly the same thing. So I think it makes for the most compelling title race I've ever seen.
Yeah. And Spurs are going to decide the title. I mean, like it or not, either we like it or not, they're going to decide the title.
We're finished.
It's a scary thought, isn't it?
Let's hope they play the Hoy line. The Hoy line, mate.
Oh, line for life.
Geronimo, play, mate.
Let's end on a final question for you.
Yep.
Are we going to win the league?
Yes.
You think we will?
I like it.
Yes.
Love it. We're going to get Dini next, mate. Geronimo, thank you for joining.
I mean, I'm in London. I have to celebrate it. I'm here to July.
You've covered a nice range there. There's a couple finals and things going on. Yeah, I see what you're doing, Geronimo. All right, mate. We'll see you soon. Chat in a bit.
Take care, Geronimo.
Let's get Dini in.
Dini!
What's going on to Frank? What's going on to James? We good?
Over the moon.
I'm happy. I'm not allowed to be. Not allowed to be, Dini.
Mm-hmm.
My team.
What you say? You're not allowed to be happy, James?
No, my team worked hard and fought and denied the world's best striker shots on goal and denied chances for the maniac of a mind that is Pep Guardiola, the treble winners.
I know.
But we did.
Terrible.
But we did.
Absolutely terrible, James. It's actually scandalous and probably should be arrested for it. You know what I mean? But in all seriousness, and I said it on Twitter earlier, 4 points of City this season is not a bad turnaround compared to seasons gone by. Absolutely.
Turnaround.
And this thing with rival fans and talking about it was a boring game and this, that, and the other. Look, some of these rival fans need to be quiet because at the same time they are upset that they're not in this position right now. That's at the end. That's just the end of it. Chelsea can't chat to me. Man United can't chat to me. Tottenham can't chat to me right now. None of them can chat to me right now. So let's just put that in the bin. Back to Arsenal. I was obviously we all wanted to win today. I absolutely wanted to win today because to make that statement, it would have been brilliant. But to go to the Etihad and get a point, we weren't great. We weren't out of fluent best. And I think at the end of the day, I feel like the main job was not to lose from the boys. We did have chances. I feel like if Trossard did score, if Trossard squares that ball to Martinelli,
he's offside.
Who knows? Yeah.
Well, you never know. You never know. Potentially. It's likely that it would have been offside, but you don't know until you get to that position.
There was a theme throughout this game of Arsenal's attackers not showing the quality they can in that final third. Like, they really had the opportunity to... I think Ødegaard had a few... I thought Ødegaard played really well. Work rate was unbelievable. Close control in tight spaces. Like, the thing is, he played really well, but, like, if he put in that performance against Burnley at home, I'd be like, what are you doing? But it's all to scale with the occasion, right?
It's a different game. It's a different game for me. I think it's a different perspective. I feel like it would... If Ødegaard has the game where he gets a goal and like 2 assists, obviously it's brilliant and we go into it and all of that, it's brilliant. But for what it was, I mean, people have been crying online saying, chess match, but it basically was a chess match and it was about who blinks first because no one wants to lose that game. If City lose that game, they're in a tougher position than we would be if we would lose that game, if that makes sense. So it's fine margins at the end of the day. I feel like in that game as well, Declan Rice, I don't know if anyone remembered it, but he just made I think it was in like the 65th minute, he just made a last ditch tackle to stop a break. And just those fine margins at the end of the day. And we can't be upset. I feel like we have to move on. Luton, for the rest of the season, I'm looking for near perfection now. I'm not going to lie. It's near perfection now because the hardest task is out of the way. And I understand going away to United, going away to Tottenham, they are going to make sure and do everything in their power to make sure that we do not win this league. I understand it. But on quality alone, we are better than all of the teams in the Premier League, especially for the rest of the season. So for me personally, I'm looking for near perfection because that is the minimum we're going to need to potentially even try to win this league.
I think
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree, Dean. I think that's got to be the way we look at it, Frank, that ultimately, like I said, we're playing teams below us. So we're in a position here where everyone's dragging up the games we got left. So of the two, we're really looking at Brighton away is tricky, don't get me wrong, and 100%. Wolves away. But you're looking at United away and you're looking at Tottenham away. Those are the two headline fixtures. They actually don't come till, I think, 2 of our last 4 games of the season.
United is second to last game of the season. So we got some time till we get there. But also, with those games, Liverpool have to go to Everton, which is the equivalent of what we're going to face at Tottenham.
Tottenham are much better than Everton.
Liverpool also need to go to United.
But you could argue Everton are more kryptonite in their style of play and the rivalry is what I'm saying. And then they go to Old Trafford as we do.
Sorry to even cut you right there. I know you're saying all of this, but I mean, obviously, yeah, it's a derby, but Everton haven't won a game in their last, 12 games at the same time? Yeah. So obviously it is a derby, but we'll see what happens. Sorry, I cut you. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, no, you're right. This is a great tweet from Rory Talks Football, who was, we've had him on AFTV before. He said, if Liverpool draw, we can go back top. He's right. He then says, Man City now need Liverpool to drop 4 points and Arsenal to drop 2 points. The onus was 100% on them to win, and they failed. Yes. He is absolutely spot on. Why are people failing to see this? Why are people someone's already clipped up my reaction to full time. Like, cool, laugh at a man being happy. What? Like, people are so fixated on Arsenal should have done this, Arsenal should have done that, but you didn't win, and they miss the bigger picture so often. I don't get why people do that.
You know, I feel like with this day and age, as good as stats are, if you can't put it in a stat at the end of the game or GA, then it doesn't really count, because obviously it's 0-0. And to be fair, was this the only 0-0 in the Premier League this weekend? I think this was the only 0-0. This was the only game without a goal in probably the biggest game of the season. So I can understand why people are upset. But at the end of the day, we went to the Etihad, a place where even though we've drawn them, we've taken a point, we still haven't won there since 2015. We still haven't won there. So we need to go next, whatever happens this season, we need to go there next season and win at the same time. We just have to do it. But right now, we didn't lose. We could have, but we didn't. And we can be happy about that. Because now we can go to Luton, and that's now a must-win game. As much as we're Luton there, I think, are they 18th?
I think because of some point deductions, they've
above the relegation
flown
zone,
up a little bit.
They are.
Yeah.
They're in 18th.
They are 18th. Well done.
They are 18th. Okay, so they are 18th. So they'll be fighting. They will fight. And we had a fight against them away at their ground earlier in the season. But I expect us to win that game. I need us to go into Bayern. Is it next week? It's Bayern after Brighton.
Is it April 9th?
I think it is after Brighton.
Oh, so Bayern is, we have no time to rest, do we? So I need 2 wins going into Brighton. It's very simple.
Fair enough. Deanie, always a pleasure chatting to you, mate.
Love always. Big up to James, big up to Frank, big up everyone in the chat. Everyone, Deanie, enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you on Wednesday.
See you soon. Before we've got Keane coming up in a sec, before we get him in, let's talk about that word belief for a sec, right? We didn't win. I thought we could win.
Yes. The
way I described it going into this game was, I wouldn't take the draw before the game because I think we're capable of winning, but I'd be happy with the draw.
I personally would have taken the draw because
before a ball's kicked.
So
does that not sum up that Man City is incredibly difficult to go and win
Absolutely.
at? Not just because of what we think, but because of the records they've got, because of what they've done at the Etihad.
Absolutely. It's not just me being happy thinking that Arsenal would be happy with the draw. A Liverpool fan would be happy with a draw at City. A United fan would be happy with a draw. Every team in the world will be happy with a draw at City. So I don't quite understand why people were getting, almost offended by the fact that we're happy with a point against. I'm going to keep saying it. I want to get a tally probably. The world's best team away from home, Manchester City. I don't see the problem with only getting a point. I've also hold a very controversial opinion now after today's game.
Go on.
I don't consider Man City favourites anymore. I feel like there's too much that needs to happen in order for them to climb above.
Did that tweet spark that a little bit as well? The tweet I was reading from Rory about the things that need to happen.
Yeah, I think
I think they still are favourites, if I'm honest. I think their run-in is that much more favourable. I think Liverpool and Arsenal's isn't that different. A lot of people saying Arsenal's is way worse. I don't think there's that much between Arsenal and Liverpool's. But I think City's is more favourable.
I personally think, given the situation that we're in, I understand we've still got United away and Spurs away, and there's some pretty hard fixtures. But you look at the two. Liverpool's running. I'll go for a little bit of it. Obviously, they play Sheffield next, and you've got guaranteed 3 points almost there. They've got to go to United away. They've got to go to Everton away, which obviously Everton ain't in fantastic form, but it is a derby. We know anything can happen. West Ham away, you've got to think it's going to be a pretty hard one. Tottenham away, Villa away. A lot of big games coming up for them, and I can't help but think that they're not going to get maximum points out of all of these games. So I think Liverpool will slowly start to fade out of this, and then it comes down.
Do you know what? I thought that for so long, but they keep going and going and going, that I just think there is something incredible about that place, and momentum is a scary thing in football. But yeah, I mean, Ben J 97's coming saying Liverpool are favourites, City host Villa in just 3 days. That would be big. I think they're going to slap Villa, if I'm honest. I think they will. Liverpool beat Man United next week, and it's curtain, says Trevor. United is going to be a tricky game for us late in the season.
Because of
Old Trafford's always difficult.
Yeah.
But I think West Ham away, Fulham away, Everton away, Villa away, those are 4 other away games, along with Old Trafford for Liverpool. But look, let's not go too deep into the analysis of who's left to play and whatnot. Let's take our next caller. Kian is going to join us now, and let's get Kian's reaction. Kian, how are you doing?
Hi guys, I'm not too bad. Obviously, before I start, I want to say a big sending love and prayers to Frida Manum, if no one's aware. She collapsed for the Arsenal ladies today. Apparently she's awake and talking and that, which is great. And then obviously great win for the ladies as well to win the Conti Cup. But on to the game today, I suppose I don't understand why people are so critical of us not winning and getting a draw, which is something we haven't seen points against Man City in the league away since 2016. Was the last time we got something there. So when you consider that, that it's a long time and a long time coming, but it's come. And Saliba, again, after Didier Deschamps's criticism of him the other day, just showing why he's a world-class defender. And why him and Gabriel together are probably at the moment, you'd say, one of the best defending partnerships in Europe.
I think they are. I think Gabriel and Saliba.
In the whole of Europe? I would 100% agree Premier League.
I'm not. Okay, someone who watches loads of Serie A and La Liga will say, you're a casual. Yes, I am. I don't watch much outside of the Premier League. I'm not pretending I do. I'm not trading Saliba and Gabriel for anybody. I'm not doing it. That doesn't mean they're better players. That doesn't mean there aren't better players. I think John Stones is unbelievable, man. When he's in his pomp and he's stepping into midfield, I think he's phenomenal.
More referring to the partnership.
We know what Diaz has done over many years. And even, maybe not just the partnership thing. I just think, would I trade 2 players who aren't near their prime? One's 25, the other's 21, 22? 22. Or maybe 26 and 22, who are 6'4" each, extremely quick, very good on the ball, brilliant in the air, can defend in a high line, can defend in a low block, and are only getting better and better and better. Would I trade them now for anyone else? No. I wouldn't. Van Dijk's having a better season than both, probably, slightly, maybe. Well, he is. But,
started off so confident.
Yeah, I know. I know.
That's what I was thinking exactly.
I wouldn't trade them. I wouldn't trade them for him because there's still so much more to come. Van Dijk's a freak. He might do this for another 3-4 years, but I wouldn't trade them. And that's part bias. That's an emotional connection to these players. That's all that's their temperament. Look at the battle with Haaland today. And look, I've seen Craig Dawson have a great battle with Erling Haaland. Don't get me wrong, but 3 times in a row in one season, I think they're immense.
We found Haaland's kryptonite.
Well, I saw a stat earlier today. Was just after the match finished that against Liverpool and Man City, we've had, I think it was 4 shots on target we faced. So it literally shows there, your 2 biggest title challengers, and you're only facing 4 shots on target against them. It shows how pinnacle they've been, and obviously it shows from last season, obviously without Saliba, the difference he makes to this defence, that he's there. And I don't think people understand how much last season we cried for him in that second half of the season without him, because he's such an important piece to that jigsaw puzzle for us.
Yeah, let me give you this. They looked at the title running on broadcast. I'm not sure which one this was. But look, it's the list of fixtures that remain. Arsenal have 4 away games left in the 9. City and Liverpool actually have 5. It's only one game. That is one extra away game they've got. Just to remind everyone of the fixtures, so we have some fun with this. We always do. And by the way, it's going to happen every single week after every single game, people. Strap in. We'll be looking through the fixtures. So, Liverpool have Sheffield United at home, Man United away, Crystal Palace at home, Fulham away, Everton away, West Ham away, Tottenham at home, Villa away, Wolves at home. Now I see that little 4 away games in 5 is crazy, and
I'm
then
tallying up 23 points there for Liverpool.
my maths is terrible. Out of 27,
I probably
2 draws.
could agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay. Arsenal, Luton at home, Brighton away, Villa at home, Wolves away, Chelsea at home, Tottenham away, Bournemouth at home, United away, Everton at home. Do you know what I say? Liverpool have some like 9 out of 10 fixtures where I'm like, they're going to win those. And then they got some like pretty horrible ones that I'm like, oh, Everton away, Villa away, West Ham away, Tottenham as well. But we've got a lot of tepid ones. Now, what I mean by that is Brighton away, Villa at home, Wolves away is tricky, but I'll also be really disappointed if we don't win all 3. Do you get what I mean? But I also
I agree
how
with that.
difficult
Yeah.
that is. Okay.
This is the margins, because I've just said 23 points for Liverpool there, and obviously they're 2 points ahead.
Oh no, what are you giving us?
There's one. Obviously, I'm going to have to go 25.
What?
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
I was
to
saying
go
25. I was thinking 25. Yeah.
I'm going to have to go.
And then
25.
Liverpool win it on goal difference because
One draw.
they'll smash Palace 8-0. Okay,
One draw.
City have Villa at home, Palace away, Luton at home, Brighton away, Forest away, Wolves at home, Fulham away, Tottenham away, West Ham at home. I actually think City at worst win 8 and draw 1. I actually think City are gonna just keep going. They're still my favourites for me.
23
I've got to
points.
be honest, they are still my favourites.
Yeah, I'd say 23 as well.
So we'll round off then. Your final question, Kian. Do you think we win it?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I'm going to say we will.
Cool.
And that's because I just think, looking at the fixtures that are left for certain teams, I can see Liverpool, especially playing in Europa League. I do think that does affect teams a bit more, especially with the competition they potentially will face in the Europa League as well. It'll be very demanding for them, and I think that'll affect them more, playing Thursday, Sunday football. I think with that, and to be honest, I actually prefer being below Liverpool at the moment, because I think for the players, it's less pressure on them. Because everyone's going to be like, oh, it's Liverpool's to lose now. So we can just be there, get the results we need, and let Liverpool mess up, and then snatch it when we need to.
All right, mate. It's been a pleasure, Kian. I've got a Guardiola quote, but I'll read it to Frank now, and we'll discuss it more and take more callers. Kian, thank you for joining.
Cheers for that, lads.
Sorry, I was going to read it and I was like, poor Kian, we've had him for ages. Let's let him go rest and enjoy the football from today. Fabrizio Romano, quoting Pep Guardiola, he was asked, what is the solution playing against an opposition with a low block? He said, kill someone maybe. And he's looking very like, well. Arsenal were very deep today.
Yep.
But for me, a low block is a problem when you're inviting wave after wave of attack. We invited wave after wave of pressure and sustained pressure. I didn't see us conceding 2 chances. Ake, now let's be honest, it's come into the box, better contact and it's in. And then the Haaland cutback comes across goal and he sort of fluffs it.
9 times out of 10 he goes for the shot there.
Those for me, I think, okay, we got away with one there.
Yeah.
I don't think Arsenal had anything as clear cut as that. I think Kai Havertz, when Jesus put him through, I think that was an opportunity. Everything else was moments that I thought we could have done better with. But I take pride in that. Sorry, people laughing at me online. Do what you want. I take pride out of that.
And so you should. And so you should, James.
You know what? Everyone. Do you know what everyone used to say? Defensive wins titles. Defensive wins titles. Then when your defense steps up,
when we do it,
when your defense steps up when you really need them to, it's a problem. Anyway, let's get our next caller. Who's next to join us? Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, good. Welcome to Full Time. Is it your first time? I haven't been on it for a while, so I don't know if...
No, I called in last time against Porto as well.
Fantastic.
I think I remember
was
you
away.
coming on. Yeah, I think I remember you coming on.
I was outside the ground, delirious after that as well.
As you should.
Thank you. How are you feeling about this one? Opportunity missed, or positives, or a bit of both?
I think mostly positive. I think somewhere between joy and relief. I think before the game even started, I went in with the mentality that if we wouldn't win this game, this isn't where we lose the league. Definitely, like you said, the 2 games against Fulham where we should have done better, and then we wouldn't even be in this position where there was so much pressure on this game. But I knew that anything that's better than losing, being a draw or win, would be beneficial to us in some way.
Yeah, what do you think in terms of the balance of the title race? Because here's the pre-match talk. If Arsenal win, they're serious. They can definitely do it. If Arsenal draw, I think it's very open for all 3. I think you're looking at all 3 going, wow, you just went to the Etihad, you didn't lose, you've done well against your rivals, City are the favourites, but Liverpool are top. And then if we lost, I think the narrative would have been, they're not mathematically out of it at all, but they're a long way. Like, it just feels like a lot to do. So where are you after that, now that it's actually played out?
It's a bit of a weird one, because when you look at how many games are left in the table, you're talking in terms of, you have to go perfect. You nearly have to go perfect. And part of me is like, well, that's not going to happen. But then you look at the other teams that we're facing, and you're looking at the fixtures, and you're like, maybe it will happen. Like, anything is possible type of feeling. And we're really getting to the point where you almost can't afford mistakes, and it's really hard to predict it. It's going to be those small moments, maybe a mistake in one game, a last-minute winner in another game, and we're just going to have to see how it turns out. And because it's so close, I'm going to back Arsenal to win the league, but it can really go either way.
Yeah, it can. And what do you make of the fact that our record's so good against our rivals? Like, because won't it feel heart-wrenching to lose it when we've done the hard work? Yeah. Like, in that mini table, we're 5 points ahead. Like, is that right? Yeah, 3, 3, and 8. So like, that's not how football works. That's not how the Premier League title race works. But to then look at then all other 17 teams in the league, took me a second, and not come out with the best record out of that, I mean, that would hurt, wouldn't it?
Of course it would hurt. And I think anybody who's disappointed after this result really has to look at the bigger picture. And we have done an amazing job in the big games that matter. If you look at, besides Villa, who we are yet to play, we've taken points off of everyone. It's, on one hand, we have won 4 points against Liverpool and City, but we've also made them drop 5 points. And that's huge when, over a period of 38 games. And of course, it would hurt a lot to not go all the way after such a great season and such great results. But I think that's how Liverpool fans have felt for the last few years. I think it's our first time feeling this feeling, but it's just what the Premier League has turned into. You need to score an insane amount of points to go all the way and push this City team and this Liverpool team, Yeah. When I heard Arteta say a few months ago, you need to get 90 points to win the league, I looked at it and I was like, at least even that might be enough, so it's just super tough, and we're just gonna have to live with the reality. That's why I want to take the small wins, like beating our direct rivals and just having a great season. When is the last time that we have been so excited about our team before these 2 seasons?
Yeah, I totally agree. Look, there's been some debate about it, so let me ask you, who was your man of the match today? Who was the best player on that pitch? Include City players as well.
If I had to pick anyone, I want to say Gabriel. I think he was huge. Saliba got man of the match, I think, but I don't think you can say Saliba without Gabriel. Like, they go hand in hand.
Feels wrong, doesn't it?
It really does. I also recently, not too long ago, discovered that Gabriel actually speaks French, and I think he's a huge part as to why Saliba is so confident, whether it is doing the hard work or just, taking the lead and making sure that he gels well into the team. So he's been huge all season. If we go on to win the league, he has to be up there for player of the season. And I think I'll pick him even. He's been huge. Today, again, he showed how calm he can be. Just being in Haaland's ear all game, I love to see it because it really takes him out of the game and just, it fires us up to see that our centre-back is so confident, aggressive, and just not leaving anything to look everywhere.
I agree. And Gunning You Down in the comments says, I agree, Magalhaes was great. Quite a few people as well have been saying that those two were standout. I think Declan Rice was up there, but I think Saliba edges it for me. Yeah. Because there was a lot of really clean defending he did. And Gabriel was immense as well, but there were just little moments where I was like, wow, Saliba, that was classy. Second half mainly. First half, I give it to Gabriel, but I don't care. This is a good problem, and Declan Rice was brilliant. Mate, absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you so much. We're going to take some other callers and keep enjoying what was an Arsenal performance to be proud of. So thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Always welcome. We've got Richie next. Just as we get Richie on, who was your man of the match, sorry?
So in the end, I went for William Saliba. Because I thought, with the exception of maybe the first 15 or 20 minutes where I thought he was a little bit shaky, a few misplaced passes, for the extra 70 minutes, I thought he was unbelievable. However, I think there is personally close contention. It's not a name I've seen a lot today from Ben White. Yeah. I thought across the whole 90,
thought Ben White
he done fantastic. And what you've got to remember at Ben White today is he was compensating for quite a poor Saka performance as well in terms of attacking.
Yeah.
Bukayo Saka, it pains me to say this, but he really did offer nothing today. And Ben White going forward, as much as going back, was superb. So I think Ben White is definitely an outside shout, but I completely understand why it's been given to William Saliba.
Let me get your thoughts on this, Quansa. A bit off topic, but sorry. It's from Quansa. I've called you Quansa.
Change my name.
Frank, get your reaction to this from Quansa.
Yep.
A bit off topic, but I'm less concerned about playing Bayern after today's performance. What's Quansa's feeling?
I'm not too sure what he means by that, though.
Less concerned? I get it. The fact that we can show...
In the sense that we've shown we can compete with Europe's best? I'm assuming that's what he means?
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of it. Yeah. I think it's that we just played a game against a very good side in what is everyone's telling us the run in the business end of the season, and we did not look overawed by the occasion. We didn't look like the 2.5 weeks without playing was a problem for us.
I mean, I'm quite confident about these upcoming Bayern games anyway. I think I've got a roadmap in mind for how these games are going to go. I think at the Emirates, obviously, I think it's actually benefits us playing at the Emirates first.
I've had these the wrong way around the whole time.
I think
one of my ears were hurting.
I think it actually benefits us playing first in this. Normally, I would say the away game first is the helpful thing. But the fact that we're going to be playing at the Emirates first, they're not going to have any fans, and I'm assuming that the allocations are going to be given to the Arsenal fans. 60,000 strong in the Emirates against Bayern Munich. I think we actually win that game 3-1. It's away from home, where I think we see something similar to what we saw today in terms of, we're not really going for the win. They're probably going to dominate possession. They're probably going to get a lot of shots off. We might maybe lose 1-0 away from home, but I think the home result sees us through.
We've got City on a 38-game winning streak at home. We did them with a point, says Bouncer 786. I agree with that. I didn't know that, so I hope that's true. I've just read it out. What about this? DR Sports sharing a quote from Roy Keane. Apparently he's not a fan of Erling Haaland's all-round game. Says he's almost like a League 2 player for his all-round game. That feels very harsh. I mean,
I feel there's a bit more towards Haaland from Roy Keane because of the situation surrounding his father as well. Never
even thought of that. Oliver Kay jumping in and saying, seeing some bizarre criticism of Arsenal's approach. 1-0, 0-0 versus City this season, 3-1 and 1-1 versus Liverpool if they fall short in the title race. And it won't be by much they do. It won't be because they're approaching these games, which has been excellent. I think it's utterly spot on. There we go. People ripping me, saying celebrating a draw. Wow, I'm not allowed to go like that. Fucking hell. Damn. I think celebration police are out.
I think people can be insane at times in terms of the celebration police. I genuinely do, because I don't think there's another team in the world, like I said earlier, that doesn't celebrate a draw against Manchester City.
Damn, I'm not allowed. I'm not even. Yeah, fair enough. I'll reply to this dickhead. Anyway, let's get our next caller. Hey, Richie, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you been?
Yeah, good man. How you doing?
Very, very good. Very good.
Very good. That's what I love to hear. Why are you very good? Tell me. Help me feel like I'm not the only one with Frank who feels good about this performance.
Listen, we fought hard. I'm very proud of the team. We came a long way. I feel like we learned our lessons too. There's very important things to take out of this performance. I think the maturity that the guys showed, not giving up even though we were not playing very well. So I feel like we did well.
Yeah, I think we did. You know, would we have taken this at the start of the season? Question. Would have taken a win and a draw at the Etihad. Win in the Emirates, draw at the Etihad.
Taken that. I feel like we, if anything, we when you start the season, you think as a game at Manchester City, you think you'll that's a loss that you always, think that you'll get on the season. So I don't think that's a bad point. I think we're allowed to celebrate. I've seen other fan bases celebrate a point. Even though when they've been ass all year. So I think we're allowed to celebrate.
Yeah, totally agree. Who's your man of the match? We've been debating it.
To me, it's Gabriel Magalhaes. To me, Gabriel has been our best player. Is at least one of the most constant players out there, along with Declan. But I think Gabriel deserves it. He's been rock solid, man. Yeah,
totally agree. I want to ask as well about Thomas Partey. He came on. I think made a difference. Yeah, I could sense it. Partey needed speaking about. He came on. I thought had a shocker against Sheffield United when he came on. Yeah. I was like, this guy ain't ready. But Arsenal really taking the time getting him back into the team. And I'm going to give myself some credit. You know what? You lot can rip me online, but I'm going to give myself some credit for this one. On the watch along, I said, and you're the evidence, Frank. I said, I think the game needs some legs back in this midfield for Arsenal.
Yep.
Because at some point City might try to turn the screw. Bring in Thomas Partey, but I don't know how ready he is. And I thought he came in and elevated our midfield again. We suddenly had a little bit of a way of playing through their midfield. We didn't have that throughout the whole game. I love Jorginho, Italian tax and all, but he didn't give us that. So what did you make of Partey's cameo?
I was happy for Partey because the way the last two cameos he had, he looked rusty.
Oh, we've lost the audio. I'm so sorry. We've lost audio there. We'll try getting back in a sec.
Just on that Thomas Partey thing, though, I think he played fantastically today. I said it in my fan cam as well. I thought all three of the changes that were made were pretty solid, and I have to commend Arteta for that. The question I've got, though, is obviously Thomas Partey. It seems like Thomas Partey's back, fully back. No injury concerns at this point, touch wood, because we know how he can be with his injuries. Mm-hmm. How do we go about integrating Thomas Partey back into this side? Because if you look at the midfield three that we're playing currently with Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard and Jorginho, don't get me wrong, I don't think Jorginho was fantastic today, but since the turn of the new year, I think Jorginho's looked fantastic. Is it just a case of we can chuck Thomas Partey straight back into that, or does he have to earn his place?
So this is what I don't agree with. Patrick in the comments, big up you, thank you for tuning in. He says Partey should start on Wednesday. It's a big difference coming on in a game. The assignment is clear. Defend tight, alongside Declan Rice. It's another thing coming in, and it's, can you dominate? Can you attack? Can you play the great passes? But can you go down the other way? Now, you know what? Listen, okay, do you know what? I
think I can see Thomas starting on Wednesday.
I know how I've just made that sound. I made it sound like starting against Luton is harder than coming on against Man City. No way. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying it's a different physical demand. Coming on 30 minutes, give us what you can, and defend in tight spaces to, 0-0 from scratch. Can you go try and win us this game? Yeah. I would be inclined to stick with Jorginho again and bring Partey on.
Do you not think it could be an idea to, because I personally can see Thomas Partey starting the game against Luton. Do you not think it would be a good idea to get Partey in for the game against Luton ahead of a game against Brighton away on the weekend, just to see how it works? Because we've still not seen that. Apart from what was it, the 15 minutes or so that we got against Manchester City last time, we've still not seen that dream midfield three start together in Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice and Thomas Partey. And I would like to think that...
We haven't seen it once this season. In midfield. We've seen them in the same pitch, on the same pitch, but not with them in midfield since the Community Shield. I agree. I think we've got to try and get Partey in midfield for this run. It'd be massive.
I think there's no better time if you look at the fixtures, I think there'll be no better time to to try it than Luton at home.
You know what made me so happy? This from Jay. He's so spot on. He said Partey's pass created that Trossard chance.
Yep.
He's the one who cuts the lines. I love Declan. I thought he was superb today, but Partey does that way more than Declan Rice.
Yeah.
He knows how to position himself to get that ball and play it. Erdegaard knew exactly what Partey was capable of doing there, and then boom, we create a chance. I do feel like we are going to maybe need that throughout the season as it becomes harder and harder to play through these teams know what they're coming up against. Partey will have a big part to play if he stays fit, and you saw that today. I didn't think Partey would get that long. I said it was a bit of a hunch. Oh, I hope we can get him on the pitch. You know, I think he could do something, but obviously I don't know anything. The people at the staff know, but I thought he put in a really good performance. Let's go to our next caller. Oh, Richie's back. Richie, how you doing? Sorry, you were saying before we interrupt. Well, we had audio problems, so carry on.
No, I was just saying Partey was very good. I'm actually very happy. That's one of the positives I took today from the performance. I'm a little worried about Bukayo, and he didn't look well the whole game. I know that we were, judging him a little bit because he was poor, but I feel like he was already carrying something. I don't think they were lying about him missing the national team. But the positive thing was Thomas. I think Thomas had a very good performance. Very calm on the ball, which is something that you expect from him, which is something that we've been missing. I know that Jorginho has done very good, but there's just that little sauce on Thomas that it just makes us more clear, more
Fluid.
inventive.
Yeah, I agree. Inventive is a very good word for what Partey adds. I agree. There's that. He will turn and you're like, oh, the pitch has just opened up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, you had so many around you, and then he just turns in, and you're like, oh my God, how did you figure that out? Like, people play football, and sometimes it's just so difficult when you're there. That's why I take what Martin said after the game. He said we were defending so much that it was very hard to find our feet when we were attacking. And if you haven't played the game, you won't understand it. I was mad. We couldn't get the ball. Like we couldn't put two passes together. It was just sloppy. But at the same time, so nervy, defending so hard. What Martin said just made a lot of sense. And that's why I take a big point out of it. Because we really did work hard.
You're absolutely right. You're spot on. Mate, I wish we could talk to you soon, a bit more, because you make some great points. We've got to get our final callers, man. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Richie, was it?
Yes, well, I'll see you guys later. I'll call later, and big up to you guys.
Thank you, Richie. Thank
care.
you. We'll speak soon. Let's get our next caller. He raised some great points I want to bring up. Let's get Elliot in.
Here he is.
Elliot, my friend. How are you? It's been a while.
Hey, Frank. James, how are you?
Good. I'm surprised you didn't call us gentlemen. That's normally how you open things, isn't it?
No, I usually call you by your first name, gentlemen.
Oh, there it is. Elliot, I'm gonna get your thoughts to everything generally, because we've got to know them. But before I do, I'm gonna jump ahead. I want to ask about Bukayo Saka. Richie mentioned him there. He made a great point. Erdegaard's saying that when you're defending so often, transitioning from that to attack's quite difficult. So how do you rate Saka's performance and Arsenal's attacking intent, quality generally today? Is it a problem? Do you care? Is it what it is?
It is what it is. Saka was carrying an injury, clearly. He wasn't at his at top form, but I think our first idea today was to defend. I think we played to counterattack. It wasn't. We tried. But again, here's the thing, guys. We created in our rest defense and in our block, we created so many chances still. So yes. Our job was to keep them out. To be fair and frank, and listen, kudos to Arsenal. They 0 goals for Man City this season is something that not many, if any, teams can say. And in terms of head-to-heads, then we take the point as it is. Listen, our job today was to not lose. Mm-hmm. We didn't lose.
Yeah.
No job done.
Yeah, I totally agree. Now the general performance. Talk to us. How do you like? I was very clearly happy about the win. Clearly, a lot of people were happy, but more mutedly so. What was your reaction at full time?
I think we had a few chances there. We could have finished. We could have finished City. I think that chance that Jesus missed, where he was just a step behind, that was a gilt-edged chance. And I think Jesus really could have changed the game for us, which goes to show that in the summer we need to go for that striker. We really, really do. I think we need that cutting edge up top. I think Havertz occupied the defenders, Gvardiol and also Kanji quite well, and Diaz. And I think we lacked a bit of cutting edge up top. But listen, we did what we came to do. I think we nullified their attack. I think we blunted their attack. I think Haaland was given such a torrid time by our defenders, and lo and behold, I am all here for it. Gabriel was giving his
another
what
game
for
he struggled.
And how to. What was that?
Another game Haaland struggled. He did nothing.
Another game Haaland struggled. Absolutely.
Haaland's kryptonite. I've said it before.
What's that?
I said it in the home fixture. We seem to have found Erling Haaland's kryptonite. Last game it was Saliba. This game it was Gabriel.
And Konate and Van Dijk did a similar job. Like, he struggles against really physical defenders who stand up to him and stand up to the test and go, we know that you're this 6'4" brute of a man, but we can match you physically. The minute you do that, you cut off the supply to him. It's very difficult to get Erling Haaland into the game. And I think the way Gabriel and Saliba marshalled him throughout, again, for the third time, was sublime.
It was really sublime. And we found Haaland more on his ass than he was on his feet today. That goes to show that Saliba and Gabriel are the two best defenders / the best defensive pairing in Europe right now. There's no doubt about that. These guys are imperious. When they want to defend, they want to shut you down. They'll shut you down.
Wait, would you say they're the best centre backs in Europe? Best partnership?
Yeah, best partnership in Europe. Yeah, right now it is.
Like I said, I wouldn't.
Right now it is.
Some might say they're others.
I would not trade them for the world. I would not trade them for love nor money. And we are very lucky to have them here at Arsenal. But credit to Declan, he did a yeoman's job. Credit to Odegaard, he was just he had to be everywhere. I mean, he did suffer for a few giveaways, but he worked so hard. This kid, he really, really did. And you know what? Let me give a word to Thomas Partey.
Yeah. Go.
You could see he was better today, and he's just that far away from his best. That turn he did when he was just outside the 18-yard box and just flipped two guys and then played to the middle, and we nearly had a counterattack break when he just came on in the second half. That was sublime. That was vintage Partey, and that's what we missed so very much. I mean, Jorginho is great. He has been great, but that sort of Partey elegance, we missed it. We really, really did miss that.
He did.
And but again, credit to the back line. They all deserve gold stars today because listen, and I mean, Kiwior gave what he got, but again, when Tomiyasu came down, totally shut down Doku. Did you see it? Doku didn't get a sniff on the other side.
I thought Doku
Grealish didn't get a sniff.
I thought he was awful.
Yeah.
I thought he was awful.
He was awful today.
Jack Grealish wasn't much better, but it felt like Grealish was a little bit more calculated with what he was trying to do. Doku, I just felt loose touches. He had one moment where he made it. He did beat the player around the inside outside, but the end product wasn't there. So I'm with you, Elliot. It's always a pleasure chatting to you. So just in a line really quickly, will we bring home the title in May?
Yes.
Love it. Hope you're right. Thank you for
Happy Easter to all. Happy Easter to all, and again, on to Wednesday.
On to Wednesday in a bit, mate. And our final caller is Michael. How you doing, Michael?
Quite good. How are you, the Frank? Hi, James.
We're good. How are you, the Frank?
I gotta say, I love watching Arteta channel his inner Sean Dyche. That you can criticize Arteta for playing for a point, but given that that's clearly what he was doing, he succeeded. And I also think that reflects confidence that Arteta has that we can be perfect over the last games. that if he thought that we were going to drop a lot of points between now and then, he might have been more risk of, preferring to go out after City. But playing for a point shows that he thinks we can win the title with the rest of the games.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, this is so off topic, but thank you for your wonderful framing. I mean, you're just perfectly in line with us. Like callers, I love you and appreciate you all, but this is how it's done. Look, it's like my Adidas stripe. So
I didn't know where you was going. Then I'm ruining it a little bit.
No, can you not ruin it? Now I'm trying not to. But that is wonderful framing. Down a bit, Frank. Well, you have to force
back.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I heard that. Carry on. Go on.
All right, so I want to defend Saka for a second. Like, clearly this is a poor game for him, and he might get like a 5 in the player ratings. But I think that his mere presence lingering out there around the halfway line prevents City from overloading us on their left side. Saka's not going to do well if Ben White is like staying in to guard the spaces defensively because Saka's more isolated, but they still have to worry about him on the break. And we don't see their left back getting forward. And that's because they're afraid of Saka, whether he's playing well in this game or not. And I think he should get some like long-term credit for that.
I think his work rate is unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Like, the amount of tracking runners, like when Ben White has to get dragged all the way out to Jack Grealish or Foden, whoever it is, Saka is then following the underlap to make sure that they don't get an overload on that side. Like the mental and physical pressure to constantly keep going. He should have done a little bit more going the other way. I agree. But it was so difficult. And what? So Jesus, Saka, Ødegaard, Havertz, Trossard, Martinelli. Okay, Martinelli not very long. All of them struggled to have an impact in the final third, and we're just going to pick out one player and think that that's just a coincidence. Like, no, like it's very difficult in these circumstances, and I'm totally forgiving because at least I saw the effort there to get us over the line and make sure that we came out with something.
I can't help but feel that it is definitely something to do with the fact, obviously, he's pulled out of England. I don't think he was 100% there today. And just on that, Michael, obviously we've got this game coming up against Luton Town. We've got some very important fixtures coming up, and I don't want to disrespect Luton in any way, but I would probably put that at the bottom in terms of importance with the running that we've got. Is the game on Wednesday potentially a game that you would perhaps rest Bukayo Saka for, especially looking at Brighton away on Saturday?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd like to see Trossard and Martinelli playing at the same time. I think watching Martinelli on the right side today made me realize that he's available for that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
One quick point about Ødegaard I realized is that we talk about players with a great pace being able to accelerate, but I think that Ødegaard is the best in the league decelerating, that he can stop on a dime. And it impresses me how much he'll be driving forward and then suddenly be able to like turn and stop, turn and twist in a way that like other players just feel like they have to go forward more.
Yeah. Yeah, the game moves past him. You feel like he's going, and then he stops, and everything moves, and suddenly the space is there. He's a master of it. He really is a master. Right. I thought Ødegaard was another player who, there was a lot missing in the final third. I totally get it, but look how hard he worked to keep running behind City players when they thought they had time to try and nick the ball back, putting himself about. Like these are really difficult games. This side slapped. Okay, it's not this side because Mahrez and Gundogan aren't there, but a almost very similar side slapped Real Madrid 4-0 last year. And we've come here and been incredibly competitive. They couldn't get one up on us tactically in 270 minutes of football. I'm enjoying it. I don't give a shit what people think.
I mean, and I just want to say, when I watch us play City this season, I feel like I'm in a dream state because I have all this inherited trauma from the last 5 or 6 years. But to watch us playing these monsters in sky blue, and we're as good as they are, we're competing with them. We don't have to be afraid of them anymore. There's this air of unreality about it, and we've been down together in my sleep, unbuckling helmets, fisting each other's throats, and yet waked half dead with nothing for a wound. Come on, you Gunners. See you on Wednesday.
See you Wednesday, my friend. As always, thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Frank, you get the last word. Go for it.
We move.
That is it. Like, that is it. Okay, so
we've done the hard bit. That's the way I'm looking at this, James. We've done the hard bit. We've gone toe to toe with our challengers for the league. You know, the teams that we're fighting against. When you say that, I'm assuming you're looking at Spurs away and United away.
I think putting together title-winning form in these last 9 is a harder task than just getting a point at the Etihad.
Absolutely.
I think anyone in 90 minutes. But what I do think is, as much as I've been as happy as anyone about this result today, it ends today. Like, now it's Luton next. We can't go into Luton going, wasn't that great at the Etihad? Like, wow, we're still enjoying that. No, this is a means to an end. If we don't get to that end, still, I don't look at today as the drop points where it went wrong, but it won't have mattered. This is about fueling belief.
Of course.
I believe in this team more than I've ever believed in them.
Absolutely, and I've been so hesitant to say it. And I said it earlier. I think if we won today, we would have won the league, and we haven't won today. But it's still a fantastic result. I do think this is going to go right to the very end. And I gave my points tally earlier. I genuinely believe there's only going to be 2 points between first and third. And if we're going to win it, it's probably going to be on goal difference. So I'm looking at the Wednesday games, like Wednesday against Luton Town, the lower level teams. And we need to be seeing more of what we have been seeing in the last few weeks, where it's your 4s, your 5s and your 6s, because I think it's going to come down as close to as goal difference.
I don't think we're going to see any of that.
Really?
I don't think we're going to see 4s, 5s, 6s.
At all?
No, I think that patch was done because Arsenal were in full flow. People still didn't really take us that serious as title rivals. We'd just beaten Liverpool. Confidence was there. I think for Arsenal, City and Liverpool, I watched the Liverpool game today. Could they have scored 7? Yes. Could Brighton have scored 4? Yes. 2-1 was about right, really, in terms of... Just in terms of Liverpool definitely deserved the win, but Brighton at no point deserved to be demolished in that game. And that's, I think, what we're going to face now for a lot of the season is City, Arsenal, Liverpool going to be made to work really hard for all their points, and they don't have to face each other. So it's about what you do in your last 9. But anyway, Frank, thank you as always.
My pleasure.
For covering everything. Appreciate it. Everyone, thank you for joining us. Thank you for downloading the AFTV Plus app if you have. Thank you for joining us for FANZONE. It's great to hear your thoughts. The fan cams are coming out not only here from the studio, but also from the Etihad as well. Interested to know what people think of the result up there. Been a pleasure covering it all with all of you. We'll be back tomorrow with Tactical Insight. Of course, DR Sports will be having the weekend roundup as always. See how Robbie deals with, I imagine, the criticism that will come his way, but he'll defend his team staunchly. And of course, all the previews, build up, everything to Luton on Wednesday night will come on Tuesday. There is no chance to breathe. We're in the title race, people. Let's enjoy it.